What is up, YouTube family? So, got some things that we've been working on. We've been away for a little bit, but one thing I wanted to share with you guys of what we're doing is we're actually setting up to hatch some of our eggs from our chickens. We got some roosters that it's time to cull them, and we need to start replenishing and try to get some hens. And instead of getting the alternative route of going through a hatchery and stuff like that, we have, I guess you'd say, a barnyard mix. And you know, people buy our eggs and love all our different colors. So the way I look at it is it's okay to have the barnyard mix as long as you're trying to do different things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys what kind of incubator we have and what we do to set it up. The first thing I want to show you what we have here is we have our container with sponge in it that's usually used to help to do some of the humidity, keep the moisture in the air for it and stuff like that. And I also have my egg tray that I put them in. We're only putting in a little over, I think we're putting 20 eggs in actually, because our chickens have slowed down, and that's what we're going to start with. We hope to add some more as we go through because my wife doesn't want me hatching a lot of eggs, but I'm kind of addicted to hatching eggs. I enjoy it a lot. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the incubator we do have. We have the 1502 incubator. It's the older style. It can hold 270 eggs, and I'm going to show you what it looks like and how we operate it. Here is my incubator. It's the model, or excuse me, 1202. Model 1202. I messed that up. So as you can see, it's a big cabinet incubator. So here's what we got. We have, it's a little older style, I got it. But see, we got good, it's got the pancake thermostats. That's the temperature it is now. I've got to fix the thermometer. We had one that messed up because it got a little wet. But here's our trays that can hold all of our eggs. And I'm going to pull this out and clean this right here because this is where we catch it with the chicks. So as that stuff is warming up, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just let this kind of heat up. So the next thing I'm doing to set it up is I'm taking our eggs. I just want to show you guys how you set it up because some people, first time doing stuff like that. So we have our unwashed eggs. We have some clean, some dirty. You want to try to at least get some of this stuff off so that you don't spread any germs and stuff like that when you put them in there. The risk for infection and stuff is down. But what we have here is we have our barnyard mix. It's a bunch of different colors. You can see like the pink, the blue, the green. We got some brown, and then we got some blue and olive eggers. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set up our tray because our incubator can hold a lot. We're going to kind of organize them a little bit on color-wise, kind of give them a little space. So what you want to remember to do is when you have your eggs, you always want to remember that you have to put the bigger end down, or excuse me, bigger end up. The point has to go down. But one thing you have to remember is you don't want to shift your egg too fast because you have that air sac on the inside. So one thing that's good to do is you want to make sure you just kind of turn it slowly when you're setting it up. So it's just kind of a very easy shift so that when you set it down, it's as little movement as possible just so that you make sure that you're not messing it up. And usually when you're setting these eggs up, one thing I will tell you is it's different for everybody. You can take day-old eggs that are hatched, and some people try, week-old eggs. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm trying now. I've been collecting for the last couple days, and I'm trying. They usually say up to 5 days, but I found a hidden stash of our chickens that were hiding eggs in a box that I had in my garage. So I'm going to put them in here, and we're going to see if they hatch or not. So that's the fun part about egg hatching. You never know what you're going to get, and I guess what's fertile and stuff. The only thing we can do is try to get the temperature and the humidity as much controlled as possible.
So what is a good temperature for your eggs?
A good temperature that you want to have your eggs most time is you want to have it at 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit. That is what it's supposed to be at, and the humidity varies from the beginning to the end. I have to research again how to do it. I think you want to have around the 50 to 60% humidity for the first 17 days, and then the last days up to 21 days. I think it's up to 15 days. And then you want to raise it's the 17 days when they go into lockdown, and then you want to raise the humidity. I think to try to get it between 70 to 90. You think the higher the better, but you don't want it too high because you will risk, I guess, killing the chickens. But that's the way, so that when they hatch, they're not too dry. You're actually keeping it pretty moist in there so that they can break their shell and be able to dry their feathers.
So a hard lesson we learned last year is when they're hatching, we do not want to open the door. Can you explain why?
Yes, so one thing that we learned was we wanted to, when we hatch our chickens, is you have to make sure, it's called like the, I guess the final process. You know, the first 7 days, you go out and you candle your eggs so that you make sure to see if they have the blood vessels. Then you go to your next time you do your 14 days to make sure they progress. Then once you hit the 17th day out of 21 days, it's kind of like their final step. Once they're in there and that door is shut, you have to leave it. Even if you hear peeping in there, a good rule of thumb is, but they could hatch between 19 and 21 days up to 22 days. So a good rule of thumb is when they are hatching, even if you hear peeping, as much as you want to go in there and check them out, do not open it up, because what will happen is you open that door to see what has hatched. You let all the warm air out and you let the cold air rush in, and basically it kind of shrinks wrap them. I guess the different change of the pressure in there with the warm and the cold, it will shrink wrap the membrane that's left in the egg to their feathers and stuff, and they won't be able to break it. Even if they make a peephole to make a pit, they will not be able to come out of their egg. And we actually lost, I think, probably half of our batch because I was so excited the first time when I opened it up to hear the peeping and count as many chicks as I could. By the time that we let the last couple days go out, I had probably killed, like I said, half of our batch, and we had about 70 eggs in there. So it was kind of heartbreaking to realize that had happened, but it's also a good learning curve for us. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to just wait. As you can see, we got all of our eggs. I'll show you our nice little fancy mix. We have our blue and our green and our brown. Obviously, we have more of our blue-green than the brown. But what we're going to do now is...
Would you like to tell them why we have more blue-green than brown?
Because we have too many roosters. And I guess it's a bunch of crossbreeding. That's where the barnyard mix comes in.
Yeah. So we have a lot of mud eggs, but it's okay. We love our mud eggs.
Exactly, because people still buy them. They love the color variation of it. And, hey, they all taste the same, so I could care less about the shell color. So one thing we're going to do now is I'm going to let the incubator warm up with it, and I will show you guys when we put them in there. Now, I let the incubator kind of warm up a little bit, made sure that the temperature was right. It was reading a little bit higher. It's supposed to be 99.5. We're sitting right at 100, 100.5, so I just turned it down a little bit. But I don't want to wait any longer for these eggs. I want to start warming them up, getting them ready. So I want to show you how we set it up here in the incubator. As you can see, here's all of our eggs that we got. I got a couple more because I collected and found a couple more. So we do here, and what I have to do real quick is I have to manually turn our shelf up. I got the auto turner working, but I just have to do this real quick to get it level. So I can take our eggs, open it up, our tray, take our eggs, kind of center them in there, scoot the tray back in, check our temperature. So we're sitting at low 100, 102, 16% humidity, which is bad right now. Water's good. Shut these bad boys up. Turn the automatic turner back on. And now we can see the result, or come back and check them here in 7 days when we candle them. All right, stay tuned for this.